The galaxy's most feared predator just escaped from maximum security containment. Military forces evacuated 3 entire station levels. Elite xenobiologists refused to enter the same sector. But here's what nobody expected. A human janitor walked in with a leash and a bag of treats, and the beast followed him out like a puppy. I'm not joking. While trained soldiers stood frozen behind blast doors, this maintenance worker did what entire security teams couldn't. But the truth behind this will shock you, because what happened next revealed something about humans that terrifies every advanced species in the galaxy. Let me tell you the 3 things that make this story absolutely insane. First, this wasn't just any predator. This was a Kryllian Apex Hunter. A creature so dangerous that 14 different civilizations classify it as a planet-level extinction threat. One of these things wiped out an entire colony in 6 hours. The military protocol says shoot on sight from orbit. Second, the human didn't use weapons or tranquilizers or containment fields. He used snacks, actual dog treats from Earth. And it worked. The galaxy's most sophisticated xenobiology labs couldn't control this thing, but grocery store pet food did. Third, this wasn't luck or stupidity. The janitor knew exactly what he was doing. And when the station commander demanded an explanation, his answer made every alien species reconsider everything they thought they knew about humans. Because humans don't see apex predators the way other species do. We see something else entirely. Something that's been hardwired into our DNA for 50,000 years. And once you understand what that is, every crazy thing humans do in space suddenly makes perfect sense. Let me show you exactly how this happened. Station Kepler-Seven floats in neutral space between 5 major galactic territories. It's a trading hub, refueling point, and diplomatic zone. Think of it as the galaxy's busiest airport. On any given day, 70 different species pass through. Merchants, diplomats, scientists, travelers. Everyone needs Kepler-Seven. The station employs 12,000 workers. Most are alien species, but about 200 are human. Earth joined the galactic community only 30 years ago, so humans take the jobs nobody else wants. Dangerous jobs. Dirty jobs. The kind of work that pays decent but might kill you. Marcus Webb was one of those humans. He cleaned biohazard zones. That meant dealing with toxic spills, alien waste systems, and occasionally deceased life forms. Not glamorous, but Marcus liked it. Quiet work, no politics, no drama. The station also housed a research wing, xenobiology labs studying dangerous species. They kept these creatures in maximum containment, triple reinforced walls, energy barriers, armed guards, the works. Here's surprise number 1. Nobody told Marcus what was in those labs. Maintenance workers weren't briefed on classified research. They just cleaned the outer corridors and equipment rooms. Management said it was safer that way. Need to know only. Surprise number 2. The containment systems were designed by the Varnex Collective, the galaxy's top engineers. Their security protocols never failed, not in 200 years across 4,000 installations. Until today, the Kryllian Apex Hunter was specimen KR-447. It arrived 3 weeks ago from a failed colony world. Scientists wanted to study its neural patterns and hunting behaviors. The creature was sedated for transport. 8 armed guards supervised the transfer. Everything went perfectly. The beast measured 4 meters long, midnight black scales, 6 legs with retractable claws, teeth like serrated steel. It could track prey across 5 kilometers using electromagnetic sensing. Its bite force exceeded anything in the known database. Previous encounters showed it was faster than Varnex combat drones, smarter than Trell pack hunters, more aggressive than Sorkonian war beasts. The galaxy classified it as a Category 5 threat, the highest rating, reserved for creatures that could theoretically end civilizations. And 3 days ago at 0400 hours something went very wrong with containment. Now here's where things get really interesting. The alarm woke Marcus from his quarters at 0417 hours. Not the standard alert. The big one. The kind that means evacuate immediately or you're probably dead. Station protocol was clear for Category 5 breaches. Seal the affected sectors. Evacuate everyone within 3 levels. Deploy military containment teams. And under no circumstances let civilians near the threat. Marcus grabbed his gear and headed for his designated evacuation point. But here's what changed everything. The beast was in Section K. That's where Marcus kept his maintenance equipment, his tools, his supplies, everything he needed to do his job. And here's the kicker. His personal locker contained his lunch, leftover sandwich from yesterday. He wasn't about to lose that. Yes, you heard that right. While the galaxy's deadliest predator was loose, Marcus was thinking about his sandwich. Station security tried to stop him. A Varnex guard stepped in his path. Sector K is locked down. Return to evacuation zone immediately. Marcus pulled up his maintenance override codes. Every janitor has them. They need access everywhere for emergencies. Broken pipes don't care about lockdowns. The guard argued. Marcus showed his credentials. Technically, biohazard cleanup qualified as critical personnel during containment breaches. The logic was insane but correct. Marcus walked past the guard. He entered Section K through a maintenance shaft. The main corridors were sealed, but service tunnels connected everything. That's how stations work. You need access routes for repairs. The section was dark. Emergency lighting only. Marcus switched on his headlamp. He could hear something moving. Heavy breathing. Claws on metal. The sound echoed through the corridors. Here's where things get crazy. Marcus wasn't scared. Let me explain why. Marcus grew up in Montana. Rural area. Mountains and forests. As a kid, he helped his grandfather rehabilitate injured animals. Wolves, bears, mountain lions. Creatures that could absolutely kill a human. But his grandfather taught him something important. Predators aren't evil. They're not monsters. They're just animals. And animals follow patterns. They have needs, instincts. If you understand those instincts, you can predict behavior. Marcus saw a broken containment door. Claw marks raked across the metal. The beast had forced its way out. But here's the interesting part. The damage was concentrated on one spot. Not random. Not frenzied. The creature was problem-solving. It found the weakest point and exploited it. That meant intelligence, planning, not just rage and instinct. Marcus also noticed something else. Small details. The claw marks were shallow near the top, deeper near the bottom. The creature was applying leverage, using its weight. That suggested it understood physics at least intuitively. Smart predators are actually safer than dumb ones. Sounds backwards, right? But smart animals calculate risks. They avoid unnecessary danger. They can learn. Stupid animals just attack everything. Marcus kept moving toward his locker. The breathing got louder, closer. But if you think that's crazy, wait until you hear this. Marcus found the beast in the equipment storage room, right next to his locker. The Kryllian Apex Hunter crouched in the corner, its 6 legs folded beneath it, head low, eyes tracking Marcus's every movement. The electromagnetic sensors along its spine glowed faint blue. Those sensors could detect heartbeats through walls. It knew Marcus was there before he entered, but it hadn't attacked. Marcus froze, not from fear, from assessment. He read the creature's body language. Tail tucked, ears flat, weight distributed on all 6 legs ready to spring. These weren't attack postures. These were defensive postures. The beast was scared. That changed everything. Scared animals are dangerous, but they're predictable. They want escape routes. They want safety. They don't want conflict unless cornered. Marcus scanned the room. One entrance. No windows. No vents large enough for the creature to escape through. The beast was trapped. And in its mind, Marcus was blocking the only exit. Classic confrontation scenario. The worst possible situation. Marcus needed to de-escalate immediately. He remembered his grandfather's first rule. Never act like prey. Prey runs. Prey panics. That triggers chase instincts. But also never act like a threat. Threats mean fights. Fights means someone gets hurt, so what do? You act like you belong, like you're supposed to be there, like the predator is no more concerning than a stray dog. Marcus took a slow breath. He didn't make eye contact. Direct eye contact means challenge in almost every predator species. Instead he looked slightly to the side, aware but non-threatening. Then he did something that made perfect sense to him, but would look insane to everyone else. He opened his locker, pulled out his lunch container, unwrapped his sandwich, took a bite. The beast's sensors flickered. Its head tilted slightly. Confusion. This prey item wasn't behaving correctly. It wasn't running, wasn't showing fear, was just eating. Marcus chewed slowly. He kept his movements predictable, smooth, no sudden gestures. He reached into his maintenance bag. The beast tensed. Marcus moved slower. He pulled out a bag of dog treats. Yes, dog treats. From Earth. Marcus kept them because, well, space gets boring, and sometimes you need a snack. These were beef-flavored, high protein, the kind that makes dogs lose their minds. He tossed one treat toward the beast. Not at it. That would be aggressive. Just near it, about 2 meters away. Casual, like feeding ducks at a park. The treat landed with a small click. The beast's eyes locked on it. Its sensors intensified. It was analyzing. Chemical composition, potential threats, nutritional value. One clawed foot extended slowly. It dragged the treat closer, sniffed it. Those electromagnetic sensors could detect molecular structures. It would know this wasn't poison. The beast ate the treat. Just like that. One crunch. Marcus waited. He counted 10 seconds, then tossed another treat. This one a little closer to himself. This brings us to the most shocking discovery of all. The Kryllian Apex Hunter moved toward the second treat. Slower this time, more cautious, but it moved forward. Marcus stayed calm. He kept his breathing steady, heart rate even. Those electromagnetic sensors could detect stress hormones. Any spike in adrenaline would signal danger. The beast would interpret it as a threat response. He tossed another treat. Closer again. The beast followed. It was creating a pattern. Food appears. Location changes. Safe approach. Reward. Classic conditioning. Here's what made this absolutely insane. This method works on Earth predators, because humans evolved alongside them. We domesticated wolves into dogs over 15,000 years. We learned to read animal behavior because our survival depended on it. But this creature evolved on a planet 60 light-years away. Different ecosystem, different evolutionary pressures, different everything. Yet the same principles worked. Why? Because predator psychology has universal constants. Predators need to conserve energy. Hunting is expensive, dangerous, so predators evolved to prefer easy food over risky hunts. That's not laziness, that's efficiency, that's survival. The beast took another treat from Marcus's hand. Its teeth were centimeters from his fingers. One wrong move meant severed limbs. But Marcus stayed relaxed. He scratched under the creature's jaw, right where the scales met. The beast's eyes closed slightly. It leaned into the touch, just like a dog, just like a cat. Pleasure responses to physical contact. Another universal constant. Social species use grooming and touch for bonding. Even solitary predators respond to gentle contact. It triggers endorphin releases, reduces stress hormones, creates positive associations. Marcus spent 20 minutes building trust. More treats, more gentle touches, soft words. The beast's body language shifted. Tail relaxed, sensors dimmed to normal levels, weight shifted from attack-ready to resting posture. Then Marcus did the craziest thing yet. He pulled out a spare equipment tether from his maintenance bag. It was basically a heavy-duty strap used for securing tools during station walks. He looped it loosely around the beast's neck, not tight, not restraining, just present, a point of contact. The beast allowed it, didn't resist, didn't attack. Marcus stood slowly. The beast watched him. He started walking toward the exit. The tether pulled gently. The beast could have easily broken it, could have torn Marcus apart, could have gone anywhere. Instead it followed, just walked alongside him like they'd done this 1,000 times. They passed through the maintenance corridors, up through the service shafts, toward the main containment area. Marcus kept talking. Nonsense words. Tone mattered more than content. Calm voice. Friendly sounds. Station security had surrounded the sector. 40 guards. Heavy weapons. Containment fields ready. The commander was preparing for a full military assault. Then Marcus walked around the corner with the galaxy's deadliest predator on a leash, eating dog treats, looking almost bored. Dead silence. 40 armed soldiers just stared. So what does all this mean for us today? The station commander ordered Marcus to containment for 3 hours of questioning. Military xenobiologists examined his techniques. The Varnex collective studied every sensor recording from Section K. Everyone wanted to understand what happened. But here's what they learned. Humans possess a unique evolutionary advantage. We're the only species that domesticated other predators, not for food, not for materials, for companionship, for partnership. Think about that. Humans took wolves, pack hunters that competed with us for resources, and turned them into dogs. We did similar things with cats, horses, birds of prey. Even in space, human ships carry animals, dogs, cats, sometimes more exotic species. Other alien species don't do this. The Varnex collective uses robotic companions. The Trell consortium breeds servant species but keeps them subservient through genetic modification. The Sorconian Empire simply enslaves weaker species, but humans befriend predators. We see a dangerous animal and think, I could pet that. It's borderline insane from a survival standpoint, yet it works, and it gives us a massive advantage. Station Kepler-Seven changed its protocols after Marcus's success. Now human handlers work with all dangerous specimen transfers. Escape rates dropped 70%, injuries dropped 90%. Costs dropped because they weren't destroying equipment during recapture operations. Other stations noticed. Word spread through the galactic community. Humans became the preferred handlers for dangerous creatures. It created an entire job market. Good paying work, respected positions, no longer the bottom-tier maintenance jobs. But here's the deeper implication. This revealed something about human psychology that other species find disturbing. Humans have an almost supernatural ability to empathize with non-human minds. We instinctively understand predator behavior. We can read body language across species barriers. We build emotional connections with creatures that could kill us. That's not normal. Most species have rigid psychological barriers. They can't empathize outside their own kind. It's a survival mechanism. You don't feel sympathy for your food. You don't bond with threats. But humans broke those barriers thousands of years ago. We had to. Survival on Earth meant understanding everything around us. Predators, prey, plants, weather. We became the ultimate generalist species. We adapted to every environment. We learned to communicate with everything. Now in space, that advantage is massive. Humans negotiate with species other races can't even talk to. We find common ground with alien psychology. We build alliances where others see only threats or resources. The Kryllian Apex Hunter, specimen KR-447, became something unexpected. A test subject, yes, but also something more. The research team noticed it responded better to testing when Marcus was present. Stress levels dropped. Cooperation increased. Results improved. They unofficially named it Max. Marcus suggested it. Short, simple, easy to say. Max is still at the station, still in containment. But now the lab uses positive reinforcement training, food rewards, enrichment activities, better conditions, all based on Marcus's methods. Before we wrap up, there's one final thing you need to know. 3 months after the incident, the research team made a breakthrough. They analyzed Max's neural patterns during interactions with Marcus. They found something nobody expected. Max was lonely. The Kryllian Apex Hunters are solitary predators in the wild, but solitary doesn't mean isolated. They have territories that overlap. They communicate through electromagnetic signals. They have complex social structures we barely understand. In containment, Max was completely isolated. No signals from others of its kind. No territorial boundaries to maintain. No environmental feedback. Just sterile walls and robotic testing equipment. It was sensory deprivation, psychological torture, even if unintentional. Max didn't escape because of aggressive instincts. It escaped because it was desperate for any form of natural interaction. When Marcus entered that equipment room, Max encountered something familiar for the first time in weeks. A living creature that moved naturally, that had body language, that responded to signals. Even though Marcus was a completely alien species, he was still more relatable than sterile containment protocols. The treats weren't magic. The techniques weren't supernatural. Max was just desperate enough to take a risk on connection, and Marcus was perceptive enough to recognize that desperation. The research team changed everything. They added environmental enrichment. They simulated electromagnetic patterns from Max's homeworld. They allowed Marcus and other handlers to interact daily, not as test subjects and researchers, as companions. Max's health improved. Cooperation increased. The team learned more in 3 months than they had in the previous 3 years of studying Kryllian species. Other labs across the galaxy requested consultations. The method spread. Human handlers became essential staff at every major xenobiology facility. It revolutionized how we studied dangerous species, but the real revolution was philosophical. The galaxy started questioning containment ethics. If isolation could break an apex predator, what did that mean for how we treated other species, how we structured our prisons, our research facilities, our entire approach to the unknown? Marcus didn't set out to change anything. He just wanted his sandwich, and maybe he felt bad for a scared animal. Simple motivations, human motivations, but those simple acts revealed a truth the galaxy wasn't ready for. The most dangerous species isn't the one with the biggest teeth or the fastest reflexes. It's the one that can turn any other species into a friend. That's humanity's real superpower, and it terrifies everyone else. If this opened your eyes to how humans operate in space, you need to hear what happened next. Let's recap what we just uncovered. First, a maintenance worker with zero combat training successfully contained a Category 5 threat using pet store snacks and basic animal psychology. Second, humans possess unique evolutionary advantages from domesticating predators that work on alien species nobody thought could be controlled. And third, the galaxy's approach to dangerous creatures completely changed because one guy wanted his lunch back. This story shows something crucial about humanity's role in space. We're not the strongest species, not the smartest, not the most advanced, but we have this weird ability to connect with anything. We see a nightmare predator and think, good boy. We see an impossible situation and just try the simplest solution for. That's not stupidity. That's a completely different way of thinking. Other species are learning this now. Human handlers are revolutionizing xenobiology, military animal programs, even diplomatic relations. We're the bridge species, the ones who can talk to everyone and everything. That's value you can't measure. Marcus still works at Station Kepler-Seven, still does maintenance, but now he also consults with the research wing. Better pay, interesting work, and he gets to hang out with Max twice a day, feed him treats, run behavioral enrichment exercises. Max seems happy as an apex predator can be in containment. Anyway, the station commander asked Marcus how he knew it would work. Marcus just shrugged, seemed scared. Scared animals need kindness, not force. Learned that from my grandpa. Simple wisdom, powerful results. If you found this story incredible, you need to smash that subscribe button right now because we're just getting started. There are dozens of stories about humans doing impossible things in space. Next video covers the human who accidentally started a war by trying to adopt an alien's pet. Spoiler, the pet was actually the alien's superior officer. It gets wild. Hit the like button if you love seeing humans turn nightmare scenarios into wholesome moments. Drop a comment telling me what animal you'd try to befriend in space. Would you go for the apex predator approach like Marcus, or something even crazier? I read every single comment and the best ones inspire future videos. And here's something special. I'm building a complete database of humanity-first stories from across the galaxy. Every crazy achievement, every impossible solution, every time we made aliens question everything. It's available to channel members, early access to videos behind the scenes research, and exclusive stories that are too wild for regular uploads. Check the link in the description. Here's my question for you.
would you have the guts to walk into a room with a Galaxy-class Predator armed only with dog treats? Be honest, because Marcus thought it was just another day at work. That's the human difference right there. Until next time, remember, in space nobody can hear you call who's a good boy, but humans are going to try anyway. See you in the next one.